Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jeff, and today we're going to be taking a look at the quickest and heaviest Chevrolet Corvette, the Corvette E-Ray. But before we get into that, first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Today's video is sponsored by Land Air Sea. Keep tabs on all your valuable assets from the palm of your hand. Remember, with Land Air Sea, theft is temporary. Visit landairSea.com to order your Land Air Sea GPS unit for your classic vehicle.
So as I mentioned earlier, this is the quickest and the heaviest Chevrolet Corvette, factory Corvette. Let me be very specific there. This is the Corvette E-Ray, and it's specifically here at Barrett Jackson Palm Beach because they're going to be auctioning off VIN001. Now, while this is the car that will be representative of that, it's not actually the VIN001 car. The winning bidder, which sold for X amount here, will actually be able to spec the car. It's going to be a 3LZ car, which is essentially the higher trim level for the E-Ray Corvette. But the cool part about this video today is that we're going to be showing you this E-Ray, and we're going to be showing you the cutout version, which is over there. So, just taking a quick look at the exterior of this car, there's a few things that I want to point out. So first of all, what you may notice is that it has the very aggressive wide body kit that would be found on the Z06, but it's been altered slightly to sort of make it more recognizable as being an E-Ray rather than just looking like a Z06. So one of the things you'll notice is as we start to look around the car, there's actually a lot more color keyed components. So some of the fenders are all black, color matched in this case and not black. And then we have some different wheels that have our carbon ceramic Brembo brakes. But then as we come to the rear, we have our Z06 wide fenders, but they're of course color keyed in addition to having the E-Ray logo, which of course is a brand new logo for this Corvette in the bottom here as well. And of course, you can't see all the hybrid technology that takes place in the car, but you of course now get an all-wheel drive Corvette, which we'll talk about all the technology with the cutaway version that's behind me over here. Okay, so now we're standing in front of a cutout of the E-Ray Corvette, and now we can see some of the cool components that go in to make this one of the quickest and also heaviest factory Corvettes ever produced. So, for example, in the front right here, there's actually a very small box that sits in the front axle, and what that is that's an electric motor that's producing around 160 horsepower to supplement the powertrain in the E-Ray Corvette, and that actually drives the front wheels. So the benefit of that is there's no drive shaft that runs from the rear of the car where the mid-engine 6.2 liter LT2 V8 is located, and instead just uses an electric motor to power the front wheels. And that brings a bunch of new cool technologies. First of all, that means you're going to have a much faster acceleration. The E-Ray is capable of a 0 to 60 of around 2.5 seconds, which is actually faster than the Z06, and it's fast enough to actually beat a lot of supercars. In combination with that LT2 V8 we'll show later, which is in the back of the car, you're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of around 655 horsepower, which is just 15 horsepower less than the Z06, which is very impressive. Plus, the cool thing about this technology is that it points out where we could see some future Corvettes going. Another cool benefit of the technology is now with the electric, in addition to the batteries, which we'll show in a sec, what the E-Ray can do is it has a stealth mode. So now, if you're, let's say, driving your Corvette early in the morning and you don't want to wake up the whole neighborhood, you can actually start the car in a stealth mode, which will allow you to quietly drive the E-Ray out of your neighborhood, and that way you don't have to worry about waking everybody up. And of course, that's going to be front-wheel drive because of where the electric motors are located, but it's a cool feature that's now available for the Corvette. But now we have to start looking at some of the other technologies that are available, including what's in the middle of the car, and we'll make our way to the back of the car. So now that we're on the central side of the Corvette, it's perhaps where we'll see most of the weight. So sitting here in the middle, right where you would normally expect to find a drive shaft in a normal all-wheel drive car or front engine car, what we actually have here is a set of lithium-ion batteries. And of course, that powers that front electric motor that gives us the E all-wheel drive, in addition to providing that stealth mode I mentioned earlier, which will allow us to drive silently. The cool part about that is being fairly central. It's a pretty good distribution of weight, in addition for the fact that the total electric componentry in this car adds about 300 pounds to the total weight of the car, which makes it the heaviest Corvette at just under 4,000 pounds. Now, just because it's the heaviest, again, like I mentioned earlier, it's also the quickest Corvette as far as factory Corvettes go. So there's a lot of cool components that go in there, in addition to some of the E-Ray badges that are on the steering wheel and some of the cutaway versions here. But it's a cool look at seeing some of the technology that actually goes into what makes this the quickest Corvette, factory Corvette that has ever been produced. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the gas engine, which is still available in the hybrid. So what we have in the back here is we have our LT2, the 6.2 liter V8 that makes around 495 horsepower on its own, which again, in combination with our 160 horsepower electric motor in the front, we have a combined output of around 655 horsepower, which gives us that blisteringly fast 0 to 60 of just 2.5 seconds. We got a top speed of somewhere in the neighborhood of around 180 miles per hour, and then you got a quarter of a mile time around 10.5 seconds. So blisteringly fast car, and of course, this engine is what you would find on the standard C8, but is also now available in the E-Ray, which is a pretty cool addition to see that we have that hybrid technology, which used to be exclusively available to hypercars and the extreme supercars, but now we have it here in the Corvette and with a ton of performance to boot. So we have a fairly heavy Corvette, but we have a lot of cool technology in here that we could see possibly carried over into some of the future Corvette models. There's a lot of anticipation for what we still waiting the outcome of a ZR1 Corvette, and we're still waiting for a Zora Corvette, which should be coming as well. So I would, while we don't know for sure, you could say that we can certainly expect some sort of integration with either the Z06's motor or some twin turbo version to be expected with the hybrid technology that we get here, making it all-wheel drive. So some pretty cool technology. Obviously a very cool cutout showing off some of the various exhaust systems. We still have our 8-speed automatic paired with that gas engine. Just a really cool blend of technology that makes it a Ferrari beater at that. So a really cool look. That's what it looks like if you've ever wanted to see a cutaway of an E-Ray Corvette. But if you're interested in purchasing a collector vehicle for yourself, be sure to check out AutoHunter.com, which is our online auction with cars going live every single day, or ClassicCars.com, our sister site, which is an online marketplace with over 30,000 cars currently live on the site. If you enjoyed the video, could hit that like button for us, really appreciate it, and consider getting subscribed for more content like this in the future. Thanks so much for watching.